Welcome back to this course on Bhakti Yoga, the science of emotions culture. This is one of the most important courses, most relevant to modern times. Unfortunately, in our entire education system, there is no component as to how we deal with our emotions. So, when our teenagers and students encounter different demanding situations, challenging situations, they get lost. They get depressed and even commit suicide. Now, depression has become the biggest challenge. In the multi-ethnic society in Australia, for example, 35% of the teenagers are now getting depressed in an age where they should be bubbling with joy, enthusiasm, energy, vitality, dynamism. They all have become zombies. The federal government of Australia got cognizant of this and they said we have to solve this problem. So they set up a new project, Project Beyond Blue. I remember 14 years back in Melbourne, there was a big function where the Prime Minister came. A huge building was allotted for this project and they brought the best of the psychiatrists of Australia from the Sydney University, made him as the director of this project and allotted an initial fund of nearly $100 million and said, we want to mitigate this from 35% in the next 10 years. It should come down to 2-3%, if not 0%. Go ahead and do. If you want more money, we'll get you. And people were so enthusiastic. They wanted to use all dimensions available to them. And recently, 2 years back, I was back there. After 12 years, I met the director and said, how is the situation, sir? Director says, down. 35% has not decreased. Why? In spite of all the advantages that we have, the great developments that we have in modern medical system, in the psychiatry and others, why we don't have the solution? When I was telling this to our friends in Los Angeles, they said, why 35% in Australia, we have 60%. We are competing, depression increasing. It's here that the science of emotion culture, what we call as Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion, gives us the secrets by which we will be able to deal with our emotions effectively. And that is contained in Narada Bhakti Sutras, the formula on Bhakti written by Narada. The same thing is available in our Bhakti Yoga, in our Bhagavad Gita, the 12th chapter, and other places also we have. What is the core essence? How do we deal with these things? So, we give you a schematic to give you the whole spectrum of Bhakti Yoga. Krishna Bhagavan says that first we must understand two dimensions with which we all are made. The Asuri Sampat and the Daivi Sampat. The good and the bad qualities. In a sense, the violent emotions and the softer, gentler emotions. What are those Asuri Sampat? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, anger, greed, jealousy, hatred, infatuation, arrogance. All these are very violent emotions, negative emotions. Love, compassion, magnanimity, service, control over the senses, and blissfulness, and harmony, peace, all the good qualities. These are called the Daivi Sampat. So each one of us are made of both this. Nobody is purely Asurik or only Daivik. So we are all permutation and combinations of these two dimensions, Daivi Sampat and Asuri Sampat. And why do we say that the Daivi Sampat is good? Why do we say Asuri Sampat is bad? Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is extremely scientific. He defines what is good and what is bad. All those qualities within us which help us to go towards ultimate freedom, to raise ourselves from our normal level to become great, super, divine human beings and reach that divinity. All such qualities are called as good qualities. Daivi sampad vimokshaya. All those qualities which help us to move towards absolute freedom, moksha. And the opposite of that, all those qualities which deteriorate us, bind us, enslave us, make us suffer from tensions, stresses, diseases and go down. They are called as the Asuri Sampad. Therefore, the choice is ours. Krishna says, Yathechasi tatha kuru. Do the way that you want. You want to become happier day by day, healthier day by day, move towards freedom, or you want to be a slave, become more and more bound by everything. Choice is yours. Who wants to be bound and suffer and suffer and suffer? So the obvious answer is that we should all grow. For that, what should be done? The Daivi Sampad should be developed. Asuri Sampad should be reduced. So how to do that? Therefore, the whole essence of Bhakti Yoga is essentially to develop this Daivi Sampad and to reduce the Asuri Sampad. Many people think that unless you have absolute faith in God, Saguna Guna, God, you cannot be a Bhakta. You cannot follow the path of Bhakti. Unless you believe in, say, temples and then gods and goddesses, you cannot follow the path of Bhakti. When you look at the Narada Bhakti Sutras or the exposition of Bhakti in Bhagavad Gita, this is not mentioned. You may not believe any god, goddesses, still you can be a great Bhakta. So what is that which features the Bhakti is the one that we are going to unravel. The first step is to develop the Daivi Sampad. So how to develop the Daivi Sampad? Teja, Kshama, Dhruti, Shaucham, Adroho, Nathimanita, Bhavanti Daivi Sampad. These are called as the Daivi Sampad. So develop this. All these positive virtues can be condensed into three main dimensions. That is the Dana, the sharing, Daya, compassion, and Dhamma, control over the external senses. Simple way by which you start developing the Daivi Sampad is by sharing, giving, Dana. Dana without expecting anything in return. Go on giving and giving and giving. Every day make it a habit to give something. What to give? Maybe clothes, maybe money, maybe food. If nothing is there, Krishna Bhagavan says doesn't matter. Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. A leaf, a flower, a fruit, a cup of water, anything will do. So it is the process of giving that helps us to raise our Daivi Sampad. Right from childhood, the children should be taught to give and give and give. This is called the Prema Bhava. In the gross form of love, we develop friendships. And in friendship, there is the aspect of Kama or the gross love, the carnal love. And normally the friendship starts when we have common likes or common dislikes. I like gulab jamun and you also like gulab jamun. We become good friends, of gulab jamun friends. You like masala dosa and he likes masala dosa, you become masala dosa friends. You like Carnatic music and she also likes Carnatic music, you become Carnatic music friends. So, common likes. So, in this level of friendship, there is always expectation of a return. I love you, you are a good friend, therefore I will give you a nice party. I know you like a gulab jamun. Nice, I give a gulab jamun party for you. I expect that you also give me a party. And if you don't give me a party, our friendship slowly loosens. Second time also I give you a party, but you don't give me. Then our friendship breaks. In this level of gross love, there is always expectation of a return. Similarly, people can become friends on common dislikes. I don't like her and you also don't like her. Therefore, we become good friends. I remember once I was traveling from Kanyakumari to Delhi in train, and it was way back in 70s, 76, 77. Then one of the persons in our compartment went on criticizing Indira Gandhi continuously, and everybody was silent. A person who was going from another compartment, he was passing. He also came and started adding fuel to fire. Both of them went on criticizing 36 hours. They become such close friends. Common dislike. So this is the gross form of love, with an expectation of a return. From here you have to go to the next level. This gross form of love, called as kama, is the asuri sampat. How to develop that into daivi sampat? You have to convert that kama into prema. The equation is prema equals kama plus tyaga. What is that dimension of prema? Giving and giving and giving without expecting anything in return. This is called the prema bhava. Every mother knows how she takes care of the child with such immense love, giving and giving and giving without expecting anything in return. Imagine in a society, many people are having this prema bhava. We develop an ideal social order. Everybody wants to give and give and give. But now what is happening? In the society, everybody wants more and more for me, more and more for me, more and more. Grab. Instead of give and give and give and share, we want everything to be acquired. This is the root cause for all these scams and corruption and dishonesty, disintegrity, all these things. So if only we can bring the first step of Bhakti Yoga, Prema Bhava, in the society, we have a big solution. And in India, we have created such a solution, such ideal social orders, in which everybody was giving and giving, full of Prema Bhava. And we had built ideal social orders. And that can build economics superpower. It can build the society to be the role model of the entire society. For decades and centuries, we had built in India such wonderful social orders. People who used to come from outside, they were not attracted by philosophy or yoga or spirituality, but they were getting attracted by the richness in India. We were so rich, we were selling gold, diamond, silver in streets. And when people used to come, they used to have such wonderful generosity, prema bhava, full of integrity, honesty, and full of love. Everybody, people have recorded this thing. So, if we want to rebuild India, as Swami Vivekananda says, India will not be made if you make India the economic superpower. India will not be made if you make India the defense superpower. India will not be made if you build skyscraper industries in this country. When will India be made? Take India to its roots. The basic values. What are they? Renunciation and service are the twin ideals of India, he said. Tyaga and Seva are the key essence. And that is featured by Prema Bhava. Giving. Then in such a society, is there a need for any police? Is there a need for the courts? No. Normally, least. But sometimes it may be necessary. An interesting episode a herd. There were two farmers. One farmer bought a small piece of land from another farmer of 1 acre, and he started plowing. Then he started plowing, then he finds that the plow hit a metallic sound. Then he was surprised. He goes there and digs the whole thing. As he digs, there is a huge copper vessel, and he takes it out and opens, full of gold coins. So what does he do? Takes the entire vessel to the other farmer and says, "This is yours. You have hidden this in that land that you have sold me, so it belongs to you." What does he say? "No, it doesn't belong to me. I have been plowing for so many years. I never got this, and you are very lucky, so it belongs to you, so you have to keep. I don't want to take back." He says, No, I can't take it, because I have paid you only 1,000 rupees, but this is equivalent to 10 lakhs of rupees. I just can't take it. It is yours. You have to take it back. Both of them were denying to take back. A quarrel broke. Then it went to the court, and there was a judge sitting there. He thought, what is to be done? Then he scratched his head. "Hey, do you have a daughter? Do you have a son? Marry them and give this to them." This is India. This is Prema Bhava in action. So we have to build India back to that roots. The first step in Bhakti Yoga is to develop that Prema Bhava. How to do that? For all of our students, I tell that every day you must make a habit to give something. A leaf, a flower, a fruit, anything. Or your friend is not understanding something about anatomy or physiology. Teach them and see that they get the dimensions. So this is how we start. But in giving also, slowly there may be ego that can come up. Ego manifests in various forms. So Krishna says Dambha, Darpa, Abhimana. 3 forms of ego can come up. People who have lot of money, wealth, they give. Giving is there. But they attach, okay, I'm going to give this, my name should be there. And can you put my name, my wife's name, my children's name? How much is the money that you need for this? They will ask, okay, I need 50 lakhs. Okay, I will give you 50 lakhs for your building. But my name should be there. This is one type by which you barter money for name and fame. Birla Mandirs, they spend so much of money, beautiful temples they build, but we don't know which god or goddess is inside. It's the Birla Mandir. Similarly, a person may be having all the great power, very rich, and he is a minister, or he is a person with a lot of power, and it can show up as arrogance. He wants everybody to hear what he says. Even a grass should not move. Arrogance can come up. He may give, but there is the power in that. Or a person may not have anything, but still he wants to show up everywhere. Oh, I met minister, I met this MP, I met this MLA, I met this big great man, I met this businessman. Go on blabbering. Like empty vessels make noise. So in these 3 ways, the ego can show up. They are called as Dambha, Darpa and Abhimana. Therefore, Krishna says, you have to go to the next level to reduce the ego. How to do that? You develop Bhakti. So Bhakti is featured by surrender, Prapatti Bhava, Sharanagati Bhava. So the equation is Bhakti equals Prema plus surrender, Prapatti Bhava. But very difficult to do that, because to give up our ego is very, very difficult. Because we think by giving up our ego, we lose our personality, our individuality, our power, our capacities. Wrong, says Swami Vivekananda. Surrender is expansion, he gives the secret. If you understand this, then it becomes very easy to surrender. So to whom to surrender? If you have an Ishtadevata, surrender to Ishtadevata. There are a large number of gods and goddesses in our country. Depending on what you want to achieve in your life, you choose your Ishtadevata. You want to become a millionaire, a billionaire, a trillionaire, the richest man of the world, Lakshmi should be your Aradhya Devata. You want to be very wise and full of knowledge, Saraswati is your Ishtadevata. You want to be with all the good qualities, Sri Rama Bhagavan. You want to be an embodiment of love, Christ. You want to be a perfect man, Krishna Bhagavan. You want to be full of physical prowess. You want to be the biggest wrestler, the highest physical prowess, Hanuman. Choose your own Ishtadevata. And you surrender to your Ishtadevata. But there are some people say that I don't believe in gods and goddesses. It's very scientific, professor and others. Then choose your role model. Who is your role model? Maybe your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, your lecturer, your professor, or a Nobel laureate. Whomever you consider to be a role model. That is your Ishtadevata. Choose them and you surrender. Surrender is a process of resonance. Surrender is a process of tuning. Just like you do radio and then tune your radio to the BBC station, then all the information of the BBC is going to come to you. In the same way, your mind should tune to your Ishtadevata, to role model, then all those qualities are going to come down. This is the Bhakti. How to do that? Your mind should be tuned. The japa is a wonderful tool for singing, dancing, all these things in the name of your Ishtadevata, the role model, will build you into those qualities. Ananyas chintayanto mam, one who is on thinking, at the mind level, at the emotion level, continuously you go on thinking and thinking and thinking. The same thing to be repeated. Hanuman was a great bhakta of Sri Rama. Ram, 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 Rom, Rom mein Ram Naam. Every hair in our body was reverberating with Ram. And this is the process of resonance. So when you tune yourself to your Ishtadevata, the role model, go on repeating it, then the whole body should resonate. From toes to head, there should be a complete resonance that takes place. And that is the dimension of surrender. And when you go on doing it, your ego is going to come down. Ego is constriction, pettiness, smallness, selfishness. And the reverse of that is expansion. So in surrender, there is a process of expansion that takes place. You start expanding your personality and you start growing. All your qualities and capacities are going to flower up. You're going to grow more and more in the whole encounter. And the culmination of bhakti is called Saguna Sakshatkara. That is realization of the God in flesh and blood. In the modern times, we have the great example of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, a great bhakta of Kalima. And he devoted himself right from his childhood, almost from his young days, into the bhakti of Kalima. Kalima, Kalima, Kalima. And he was worshipping Kalima and he got the opportunity to serve in Dakshineshwar temple. And in the Kali temple, every day, morning till night, he was doing the puja, he was doing the japa, he was singing, and all the time involved in the meditation on Kalima. Months rolled, years passed, and his intensity was increasing more and more. But still, Kalima was not giving the darshan. And he was getting concerned. Why Kalima is not coming and then giving me darshan? Then he thought, yes, the whole night I am wasting. His sleep. I can't afford to do that. So from that day, in the night he will go to the burial ground in the isolation and start doing the japa continuously. Kalima, Kalima, Kalima. and the whole day and night, 24 hours, his mind was involved and saturated with complete Kalima's remembrance and the japa. He was tuning himself, resonating himself with the Kali's picture, with the Kali's japa continuously. But still he was not getting the darshan of Kalima. Months had rolled and he was getting more and more concerned and more agony. Every day in the night when the temple door closes, then he would go and cry, Ma, why you are not giving me darshan? Akrandana, full of this agony, and doing that. Still Kalima was not giving. And on that day, he gets a flash. Yes, Kalima, I have given you everything. Whole life I have given. Every thought I have given to Kalima. But I have not given something to you. And today I am going to give that. And the whole day went in that total faith. And he was waiting for the night. And the evening, the temple doors were closed. All the devotees went away. And enters into the Garbhagriha, into the sanctum sanatorium, where Mother Kali's Vigraha was there. And he goes and he knows what he has to give. The last thing which he had not so far given. And Kalima, please accept. I had not given this to you. I gave everything. I gave my whole life, way of life, and every thought I have given you, every emotion, every thinking I have given you. But I have not given something that I am going to give now. So he goes, pulls the sword, and he wants to cut himself down. Pranarpana, that is giving up the life at the altar feet of Mother Kali. And when he is able to cut himself, suddenly there is a big flash, a big explosion, and Mother Kali comes in flesh and blood and gives him the darshan with a blessing hand. And later on, Ramakrishna says he went to that Bhava Samadhi. The whole night he was in that Bhava of Kalima and was totally immersed in that dimension. And that is the culmination of the bhakti into what is called Saguna Sakshatkara. Sakshatkara of our Ishta Devata in flesh and blood. Since then, Ramakrishna started living in presence of Mother Kali all the time. It is this experience, it is this continuous revelation, it is this God realization that made him answer the young Naren, the brilliant of the student who came to him. Have you seen God? Naren was asking everybody. Nobody had the courage to say yes. And here is the person, yes, my dear, not only I have seen God, I can show you God. Every moment I am with the Kalima. And there is a distance between you and me. But between me and Kali there is no distance. All the time in that. And that is the Saguna Sakshatkara that comes up. And gradually the Saguna Sakshatkara expands itself into seeing God everywhere, in every creature, every animal, every being, every human being, everywhere seeing the same Lord, same Kalima, everywhere. Ramakrishna started seeing the whole thing, and Sotapari taught him to go into the higher dimension of what he called the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Nirguna Sakshatkar, seeing God everywhere in the whole creation. The whole creation is nothing but the same consciousness, and that is called the Nirguna Sakshatkara. And therefore, in the path of bhakti, the culmination is from kama to prema, prema to bhakti, bhakti to Saguna Sakshatkara. After that, it expands. It is not only in the Kali form that he was seeing Kali, but he was seeing Kali in every object throughout the world, and that is the Nirguna Sakshatkara. And Kali did not have this only form, it is infinite, all-pervasive dimension. And from there, you fathom the higher and higher dimensions of that consciousness, and then you reach advanced Bhakti Yoga. Ultimately, you reach that pure consciousness and become one with that. As Ramakrishna says, a salt doll was trying to measure the depth of the ocean, and it went down and down and down. It lost itself completely. And this is merging with the totality, the Jivatma becoming one with the Paramatma. And that is the ultimate goal of all sadhana, whether it is the Bhakti Yoga or whether other streams of yoga, everything has to go to that which is called as the moksha. It is the state of pure consciousness. It is the state which is beyond space, time and causation, and it is the state of infinite bliss, infinite knowledge, infinite power, infinite freedom. And that is the goal of bhakti also. Therefore, what is to be done to start off? Start examining the Daivi Sampat and the Asuri Sampat. Start reducing the Asuri Sampat by developing the Daivi Sampat. Prema Bhava has to be developed. How? By sharing, giving. And while giving, you should do that with a bhakti. Yome bhaktya prayachati, Krishna said. That is by the process of surrender. When I give something, I give it in the name of my God, in the name of my role model of the person. This is what has to be done. I had one of the professors, he said, I don't believe in bhakti, I don't believe in gods, goddesses, and all the rituals, everything I don't believe. I said, in spite of that, sir, you are a great bhakta according to me. I said, how is it? See, what did you do when your father died? You did not do any of the rituals. Fine, no shraddhas, anything. But what did you do? You, every year, on the day when he died, you and your wife go to an anath ashram, to the orphanage, and you carry so much of food, and you serve each of these boys and girls there, and you give clothes and you give some money to do this thing. This is bhakti, this is sharing, and this is the love in the name of your father. For you, your father is the role model. He is your Ishta Devata, and this is what is to be done. Therefore, go on giving and giving and giving in the name whom you revere. That is the bhakti dimension. That is the process of surrender. And that takes you to the higher realms of consciousness. So let us all start developing this Daivi Sampat, Prema Bhava, to give and give and give. Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam, Yome, Bhaktya Prayachati. And we will be ennobled and we are rid of all these depressions and other dimensions. Otherwise, the shock, the demanding situation can kill you. I remember one of my friend's daughter. She's a very brilliant girl, and she wanted to join the medical. And in the plus 2, she had done very well, and she was expecting she will get some 98% marks. But when the results came, she got only 88. She was so depressed, and she was coming out of the house, and the parents found she was not there in the whole evening. They thought probably she had gone to her friend's house, and they left. Next morning also she was not returning, so they started phoning, and none of the friends said that she has come there. So by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, he started searching everywhere, nowhere she was found. Then he gave the police complaint, and the police started searching and searching. And next day they found her body floating in Alsur tank. This is what is going to happen. We don't know how to deal with our emotions. Therefore, Bhakti Yoga is the real dimension to see that we grow in the right direction. And right from childhood, in our schools, college, education system, we should bring this dimension of Bhakti Yoga, and will solve all the challenges what the people are facing today in the form of depression, in the form of addictions and other dimensions. And that is the great secret that we have in the path of Bhakti, in the path of the science of emotion culture, the path of devotion. And hope we will all start making a resolve to change ourselves, to come into the Prema Bhava, go to the Bhakti Bhava, and reach the goal of God realization in the path of Bhakti. Thank you all. Wish you all the best. Dhanyavad.